Lord bless you.
Lord bless
you. Praise the Lord. And behind that introduction, I'm humbled. I want to call your attention. I don't want to hold you too long, but I can forget clocks. But I want to call your attention to the 11th Psalm. And I want to read the first 3 verses in the 11th Psalm, and then another verse in the 82nd Psalm and the 5th verse. Verse number 1, in the Lord put I my trust. How say ye to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? For lo, the wicked bend their bow. They make ready their arrow upon the string, that they might privily shoot at the upright in heart. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? I want you to hold that verse in your mind. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The 82nd Psalm and the 5th verse, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I do not know if you've ever considered the critical situation of our times. No institution, no organization, including the church, no building is any stronger than its foundation. It does not matter what materials you may use to build or construct the building. The strength of that building rests in the foundation. Some years ago I was in New York City, staying downtown in the New York Hilton, and I was awakened one morning by hearing blast. About every 5 minutes a blast. And I got up and looked out of my window, and across the street they were preparing for the foundation of a skyscraper. And I noticed 2 things. Number 1, those blasts were being set off to blast rock and make holes in rock, that they might lay concrete foundations to put up the structure of steel for a skyscraper. You can tell by the foundation of any structure what kind of building it's going to be. Anytime you see a man go out in his backyard and take 4 cement blocks and lay them on top of the ground and say that's going to be the foundation, you can forget it, because he's most likely going to put a doghouse. He's not going to build too much. You can tell it by the foundation. We are in the process of winding up the building of a new sanctuary. The property that we are building it on, once upon a time there were some buildings there. They tore the buildings down and they left the rubble and the refuse and just pushed it over in the hole. When they came out to start our structure, the city sent a man out to inspect the soil. And they would not allow them even to put down concrete on the soil that was there. They made them take it out and get down to solid soil. The brick and the lath and the plaster and whatnot, they did not allow them to put that foundation on that kind of soil. I can remember many, many years ago when they were building the Christ Temple that Elder Bowie was telling you about, and that ground had been a dumps. And the city made the late bishop and the builders go down 30 feet to strike soil that was solid to build that foundation on before they built the building. And today we live in a world that has lost practically all of its foundations. As the psalmist said, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. I don't know whether you have paid too much attention to it, but things are not what they once were. In all of the realms of our living, there's been some changes in fundamental, foundational structures. The beauty of life has faded. The beauty of things. And we today have come to a place that there are few genuinely beautiful things. We are destroying our own world. We have poisoned our air. It's polluted. We have poisoned our water. It's polluted. Last summer they prohibited any fish to be taken out of the White River that runs through Indianapolis for 50 miles downstream because of the pollution of the waters. Not only have we polluted the waters, the air, we've polluted the soil, and the foods that we eat are contaminated. Men do not think in terms of good health as they should. They poison us with their insecticides and what have you, and then turn around and doctor on us after we're poisoned. The thought of being careful about what people eat is gone. You may not believe me, and it's all right, but something we're doing in this nation is behind the great hazard of cancer in this nation. There are nations in the world that do not have the health systems that we have. There are nations in the world that do not have all the scientific know-how that we have. And yet, they do not have a dozen cases of cancer a year. And here we are with scientific know-how, with physicians and scientists, and yet the growth of that one disease has become alarming. We do not even think anymore in terms of being honest. You can lie and get farther lying than you can telling the truth. We don't think in terms of being kind and just and good. Violence to a certain degree is the order of our time. And we wonder what in the world has gone wrong. But the basic foundational truths that a nation must have to succeed have been thrown away. Our God said to us long before today, righteousness exalteth a nation. And he knew what he was talking about. But sin is a reproach to any people. I can say to you, and I'm sure if you watched your television or read your papers or magazines,